Detroit rapper Baby Smoove has landed in some serious legal trouble in Miami after a late-night traffic stop turned into a stack of felony drug and weapon charges. Let's walk through what allegedly went down, what he's actually facing, and what this could mean for his future, without jumping to any conclusions. So first, quick reset on who we're talking about. Baby Smoove, government name Jalen Deanta Parker, is one of those low-key but highly respected Detroit rappers. He's known for that super laid-back delivery, monotone flow, and slick punchlines about money, designer fits, and street life. Over the years, he's built a cult following off consistent drops, underground buzz, and projects like Young Rich Bastard and his more recent work, all while staying pretty under the mainstream radar but big in certain circles. Now picture this. Late at night in Miami, he's behind the wheel of a yellow Lamborghini with dark tint, cruising around. Police say the car caught their attention because of those heavily tinted windows. They pull it over, walk up to the driver's side, and that's where everything starts to go left. According to the arrest paperwork, when the officer approached, they say they saw smoke inside the car and smelled a strong odor of marijuana coming from the vehicle. On top of that, they say they spotted a black handgun tucked under the driver's seat. At that point, from their perspective, that's a safety issue, so they order everyone out of the car, Baby Smoove and the two passengers riding with him. From there, things escalate quickly. Once everybody is out, officers start searching the car. They report finding a handgun, a black 9mm, loaded with a full magazine and a round in the chamber. That alone is already a major problem if the people in the car aren't allowed to have a gun or if it's not legally carried. But that's not all they say they found. Inside the car, officers describe coming across a yellow backpack. In that bag, according to the documents, there was roughly $30,000 in cash, a sizable amount of what they believe is marijuana, around 80 plus grams, about a dozen containers believed to be THC wax, and a bottle of prescription cough syrup or antihistamine. On top of that, they also mention a pill bottle with multiple different kinds of prescription pills. Things like alleged oxycodone, alleged Xanax, and a muscle relaxer. Police say Baby Smoove told them the backpack was his, but that he didn't know who the gun belonged to. That detail is important because when a gun is inside a car with multiple people, there's always a legal fight over who actually had control of it, who knew about it, and who can be held responsible. All of this together, the gun, the weed, the concentrates, the pills, and the cash, turns a simple traffic stop into a serious felony case. Right now, Baby Smoove is facing 7 felony counts. In plain language, those charges break down into a few big buckets. 1. Multiple counts of possessing controlled substances with intent to sell or deliver while armed. That basically means prosecutors are accusing him of not just having certain drugs, but having them in a way that looks like they were meant for sale, and doing that with a gun present. 2. A charge related to marijuana with intent to sell or deliver while armed. Again, that while armed part is what really cranks up the seriousness in the eyes of the law. 3. A charge tied to manufacturing or selling prescription drugs. That applies when authorities believe pills or liquid meds are being handled outside of a legit pharmacy or medical setting. And 4. A count for carrying a concealed firearm, having a gun tucked away in a car without the proper legal authorization. To be clear, these are accusations. These are charges. He has not been convicted of anything at this point. In the eyes of the law, he's innocent unless and until the state can prove otherwise in court. After the arrest, he didn't sit in jail for long. He was able to post bond, reported to be a relatively low surety amount compared to the seriousness of the charges, and he was released from custody. That means he'll be fighting this case from the outside, likely through an attorney, instead of waiting behind bars while everything plays out. So what happens next in a situation like this? First, his legal team is probably going to look very closely at the traffic stop itself. Was the car pulled over legally? Were the windows actually a valid reason for the stop? Did police have grounds to search the vehicle based on what they say they saw and smelled? If there's any issue with how that traffic stop and search were handled, the defense might try to get some of the evidence thrown out. Second, they'll likely focus on who actually possessed what. When you've got multiple people in a car and one gun, one backpack, multiple drugs, the question is, who knew about it? Who had control over it? And what can actually be proven beyond a reasonable doubt? That's where statements like, the bag is mine, but I don't know about the gun, are going to get picked apart on both sides. Third, there's always the possibility of a plea deal. In these types of cases, sometimes prosecutors and defense work something out where certain counts get dropped or reduced in exchange for a plea on others. Sometimes the defense goes all the way to trial and fights every single charge. Right now, it's too early to know which way it'll go. Outside the courtroom, there's the impact on his career. On one hand, a serious arrest like this can slow things down. Travel gets complicated, shows can be affected, and brands may pause business until they see what happens with the case. Legal fees and court dates also take time and money away from music. On the other hand, the reality of rap is that a lot of artists have had legal situations and still maintained or even grown their fan bases. For some listeners, this just adds another chapter to the real-life story behind the music. For others, it's a concern about stability and whether an artist they support is going to be around long-term. Then there's the human side of it. Beyond the headlines, this is a young artist from Detroit who now has to navigate the criminal justice system in another state, far from home, with a lot on the line. Jail time, probation, fines, and a felony record can all change the course of someone's life, not just their career. Right now, there's no public statement from Baby Smoove breaking down his side of the story. We don't know what his legal strategy is, and we don't know what evidence might come out later that hasn't hit the internet yet. So the only honest approach is to look at what's on the record, acknowledge that these are allegations, and wait to see how the case unfolds. As more details come out, we'll learn whether this was a situation that gets resolved with reduced charges and a deal, or if it turns into a big court battle with serious time on the table. Until then, it's important to remember that headlines don't tell the whole story, and every case is more complicated than a quick post makes it look. Thanks for watching, and if you want to stay locked in with more real, detailed breakdowns of stories like this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the Short Clips Podcast on YouTube.